Hello, this is SD, and I'd like to welcome you to Divine Solutions, where we believe that the soul has a solution. I've been watching many YouTube channels and following many different tarot readers, different ones who are saying that they're chosen, that they're the chosen ones, and I believe that there are a lot of chosen ones that are currently out here that are awakened and that are spreading the word. But one subject that I find that many of them are not touching on is the spiritual attacks that are going on to the chosen, and really going into detail about how in depth they are. I personally am still going through it a little bit, but I feel like I'm coming to the other side of it. For the last approximately 3 years, I've been under attack by what I would later come to find is a witch or somebody who's very well versed in occultism. And I'm making this video because I think there's a lot of people out here who are also under attack, who are unaware of what's going on, because it's just like you have a sense that something's off, but you really can never put your finger on what is happening to you or why it is happening to you. It's just a feeling, or it's like a gut intuition feeling. And for me, luckily enough for me, that I guess I'm hypersensitive. I'm an empath, so I'm sensitive to energy, or sensitive, and I can feel energy or people's energy. I've always had that gift since I was a child. But the biggest thing that I feel like I need to express is that it's like I'm doing this video to save people, to help people who are also going through this attack. Because everybody says that they wish to be spiritually awakened or to be woke, as they say. But it's a gift and a curse, because as you become woke, yes, you will attract people of the light, but you'll also attract people of the darkness. And for me, that was my case. I was so happy that I was in the light, and I felt like I was on my path. I'm also a Reiki master and an esoteric healing. So I had been doing a lot of karmic healing, a lot of energetic healing. So I just felt like I was at a place where I was like, all right, I'm finally here. I was doing deep into my meditation. I had the Kundalini happen a few times. And then I met what I call is this witch. And see, the thing about when these people come to you is that they come to you and they seem like they're perfect. Like they check all the boxes. They're financially well off. They're good looking. They have everything that you thought you ever wanted in a mate. And then also that they give you everything that you want. Like for me, my situation was I was trying to reopen the wellness center, and I had been for about 2 years searching for an investor. And here comes this woman, and the first night that she comes in, she's like, it was always my dream to open a spa, or like a medical spa. That this is something that we should do together. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'll back it. Like almost the first day, and then it just was like a romance that just like, it was just like a roller coaster romance. It just happened so fast. And before I knew it, like, she had kind of moved in with me, and we were living together, and she also was very spiritual, and she had spiritual knowledge. And so to me, I thought this was my twin soul, or this was the woman of my dreams. And I would say, like, I would notice every 3 to 4 months that she would have, I guess I could call it like a mental breakdown, where she wouldn't act herself. And so it went on every so often. And one day I was ready. I said, you know what, we would have these little bouts, and she would leave and come back. So I was going to tell her that this was no longer going to work when she came home that night. And so she calls me about 10 o'clock in the morning. She's frantic, and she says, you're not going to believe what happened. And I said, what happened? And she said, she was a dentist, and she said that someone had just died in her chair. And I was like, what do you mean someone died in your chair? Who dies in the dentist's office? And so she's like, yes, this lady coded, the ambulance is on the way, and I don't think she's gonna make it, or whatever. I was like, all right, well, I was trying to, console her, and said, okay, well, what, you need something from me, or what do you want? She's like, I'll call you back, or whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So she comes home, and she acts like nothing happened, nothing. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it alone. And so of course I couldn't ask her to leave because she was, she was going through such a hard time. She just was like, I mean, when I say she was expressionless, like just numb, it was a feeling. I was just, I don't know how you could just kill somebody and not be like distraught or. And so the next morning she gets up and goes to work like nothing happened. And so we're walking down to the garage, and we get to the garage, and she breaks down, starts crying, and hugs me and says, please don't leave me. I have nothing. I have nobody. All I have is you. Please don't leave me. And so I embrace her. I mean, what could you really say in that situation? Even though, part of me was like, oh, this was not going to work. It was over. And so I really never took that. Like, I mean, it was a crazy situation, a crazy occurrence, but I never took it to really mean what it meant, And I wouldn't come on to later down, maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, that I would find out that what actually happened was that was her first human sacrifice. That's what I would come on to later find. That was the first person that she sacrificed that I know of, right? And so, but at the time, being that I was new to this spiritual stuff, I didn't know how to, like, I didn't put two and two together. Like, I just thought, okay. So I would notice, every few months, maybe every month and a half, something else would happen. But it'd be like out of this world stuff. Like, just like, it was just like a series of just bad events. Like, for example, I lent her my car one day. I had a brand new car, and I told her to be careful with it. And she goes, and this is literally maybe like a month and a half after this lady died, and she gets hit in my car, and my car is totaled. I thought it was a godsend because she had a Prius and I had a Volvo. If she was in the Prius, she would have been dead, But it was just all these karmic things just kept happening to her. And once again, I couldn't put two and two together. So I stayed with her, and like I said, we'd have off and on. And it was like, somehow it was like we were attached, Like it was like, I would, something like in my spirit said, this is not right for you. But I couldn't leave. Like, it was like, I guess it was like almost like under a spell or like, I don't know if anyone of you guys ever been in like a karmic relationship, but it was like a karmic relationship where it's not just that easy to just get away, because it's like you're attached, and it's like your souls are attached, and you believe that this, because you guys have all these similarities, like the way you grew up, your childhood, just the way you are, just like we were like twins. Like you couldn't make it up. It was almost like when she was telling me a story about her life, it's like, oh, I would have that aha moment, like, oh, the same thing happened to me. The same thing happened to me. And so we kept going down the road, and I always would feel like at night that I felt a weakness, like I was tired. And so, like I said, I'm a Reiki master or whatever. So I felt like she was taking my energy, right? Like she would, like if I put my arms around her at night or whatever, I would feel like she was taking her energy, and I mistaken it for love, or and so because I was so full of light, I felt like I had unlimited energy to give. Like, so I wouldn't mind in the beginning, like I felt, it was almost like I was feeding her, but I thought of it as in a nurturing way, not that she was actually like draining me, And so we would go on down the road in some time, and then we eventually moved to another apartment, a bigger apartment, and we moved in. And I was happy, it was a new apartment. It was very nice apartment, and so I'm thinking, okay. And then, she started funding the business, So, I'm like, the businesses is like, everything is lining up perfectly, And that's what I try to say is about these dark people and forces, is that they come to you with smiles, right? She's the most docile person that you will ever meet in your life. She is like, if you saw her very soft spoken, has the most innocent demeanor, you would think that this person just wouldn't hurt a fly, wouldn't do anything. And that is how they come. They come masked. They come with a mask on. And if you're not spiritually wise, it is very hard to unmask them, because you will never know what's going on. So once we moved to the new apartment is where the spiritual attacks increased. And I also, like, when we brought both of our stuff together, I really started to learn about a lot of the stuff that she was into. And so she was into, like, a lot of books on occultism, a lot of books on magic, a lot of books on witchcraft, and just like psychological books, and just like, but the book was her book collection was extensive, of just old books and stuff. And so I would ask her, I would be like, well, why? I was like, do you read these books? Or are you into this? Because at the time I was of, like, the white light, and I believe in Jesus, but I don't believe in a religion, and that I was of the positive side, which we call the right hand path, and the dark hand path is called the left path. So I was more of the right hand path, and so I was really against anything that was dark or like voodoo, or I really didn't know, anything that was Santeria, or any of those, like what I consider devil worship, or spiritual groups, or anything like that. I was against that. And so we would sleep next to each other, and every night I would feel drained and more drained. It was like something was feeding on me, and something was feeding on me at night. And so one night, in the middle of the night, I was sleeping, and I felt the draining feeling happen to me. And it usually happens, by the way, between 3 and 5 a.m. in the morning. They call it the witch's hour, but that's when the attacks started to happen for me. And so I would feel the draining. And so what I did one night was, I just wanted to do a test to see if that's what was occurring to me. And so it's like almost like I felt like an electric, statically feeling, like something's pulling on you, something's feeding on you, something's draining you. And you just get a sense, your body gets a sense of weakness, like your vitality is being drained. And so one night I did, because I know Reiki, I did like an energy push, and I just pushed her like that. And she almost like jumped out the bed, right? And then it stopped. And so, but it just showed me that she was doing it. And as the story goes, everybody's gonna say, well, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you just get out? And it's like, part of me didn't get out because I know it was something spiritually I was supposed to learn, and that if I left, then I wouldn't learn the lesson, and that I would have to learn it with some people. And it became it almost cost me my life, to be honest, a few times. And there was so many times where basically I was tempted to go to the dark side. I was tempted, and it was coming after me hard. Whatever it was that was with her, or her, I thought it was her that was coming at me hard. But once again, spiritually naive, not really having anybody to talk to about this stuff, I just let it continue, because I was like, well, maybe I'm imagining this. Maybe this is not really happening. And also, you have, everything I wanted in life I had. As far as like financially and where I wanted to go in life, all the dots lined up. And I was like, well, and sometimes I would try to talk to like my family about it, and they'd be like, oh, you're crazy. Like, this is like the perfect girl for you. Like, why would you mess this up? Don't mess this up. And I'm like, but it's like, I just, something that doesn't feel like I don't, it's like I couldn't, there's something in my soul said, don't trust her. There's something, like I just had a sense that there was this something dark about her that I really couldn't put my finger on. And sometimes I would just have a corner of my eye would catch a glance, and she'd have like almost like a demonic look on her face. In some later videos, I'll put some, I'll show some. But it was like it was like a subtle, like a snarl, you know? And it was very confusing because once again, I've never been around anything like this. And so later on down, I will get more into detail about, different stories and different times of, just different events. I tell you, it was traumatic. I'm still like emotionally scarred, spiritually scarred. It really took a toll on me, and but on the good token is that it really propelled me on my spiritual journey and my spiritual growth, and what you truly have to be ready for this spiritual warfare, because I believe that the war has begun, and that many don't know that these demonic or cultists, or these are demonic beings that are walking with, or demonic people who are possessed that are walking with us, and that they are here destroying people's life, and they're just unaware of it. It's you really have to be versed. And then the thing that I found is that the people that you do find that say they know how to help you with this or whatever, one lady tried to charge me $10,000 to remove this curse or this thing that she wanted. And so there's like a lot of charlatans out there that are trying to rob you of your money, or trying to they're just trying to take advantage of you, but they're not really there to heal you. And it's really hard to find people that are of the truth, like what I like to say, that really are here for humanity, to help people, because this can really take someone's life and they wouldn't even know. They would just, and it's a gradual effect. It's not just subtle. It's like a subtle deterioration of your vitality, of your spiritual strength, of your light. And they just keep taking it. And then there's groups of these people that do this to people. I consider them as vampires. And what I would later come on to find out is that they're psychic vampires, and that not only can they take your energy, but they can get into your mentals. They can think, they can do things to you to trigger thoughts that once they know what triggers fear, then they can do that, and they can do it not even near you, like telepathy they can use to do this stuff to you. And it led me to do so much research on this, and readings and studyings, because I was fighting for my life and there was nowhere to go. I tried reading the Bible. I didn't get any protection from that. And I tried so many things that I want to share on this channel that help me protect myself, help me keep my energy clear, because once they get attached to your energy, it's just like something is just sucking on you, feeding on you. And you just don't know why you feel so weak and so drained and so tired, and you don't have any mental clarity. It's like everywhere you go, there's a black cloud with you, and it's spell work, that they do to you. And then once they've established these chords, these etheric chords, that it's like they're hooked to you for life. It's not just as easy as just, okay, I want to leave. And you can even do cord cuttings, and the cords will grow back, because that's how strong these energetic bonds are. If you have sex with them, that's a bond. Like, you create a bond that is very hard to break. For me, I had a cord in the middle of my back behind my shoulder blades, where ironically I have chronic pain in that area. Unexplained. I've been to every kind of doctor that I can imagine, and that it got to a point where I actually could feel every time that she would puncture a hole in my aura, and I would feel almost like a knife stab, like somebody jabbing you with a knife in different areas. I would feel tingling in my feet, like almost like when you rub a carpet, you get a statically feeling. And that's how I came to know that the attacks were going to begin. And many a nights, like I would Google and find protection methods and you know, but I always wanted to stay of the light. And I would do like white light shielding. I would do, different prayers. I would try to do Reiki and cleanse my energy, recharge my energy in the morning after a night being drained. And it was just so many things. It's too much to even share in one session. I'm actually writing a book about it because it's a movie. It really is a movie. It is a story that I feel like once I share, it's gonna change lives. It's gonna open people's eyes to like how real this is. I mean, these people doing this they could even be in the church. They're using magic. People don't realize that our words are magic. Our words have power. You speak a word into existence and it has power, it has meaning. And that's how you materialize things. But words used in a wrong way create a negative effect. Someone, for example, can just be envious of you or jealous of you and just have a nasty thought about you. And because of that, they can direct an evil eye onto you where bad things happen. And some people unknowingly do this. They don't even realize that they're casting the evil eye. But there are people that are, they know this and they do it on purpose to try to bring bad luck into your life and bring curses to you. And for some people, they might think, oh, this guy's crazy, he's speaking out, off the wall, but I lived it, and it does make you think at times that maybe you're losing your sanity, but there's something in you. That's when you have to trust the universe. You got to trust God. You got to put your trust in them, because it can really drive someone crazy if you're a weak-minded person. If you do not have a strong mind. I was blessed to have a strong will. Ever since I was a child, I had a will that could not be broken, and I think that is the only thing to say. I also believe that divine intervention came in, and the stories I'll share with you down the road of just like it was pure God or a divine that stepped in to save me, because if it didn't step in, I would not be sitting here talking to you right now. And so I shared this story because I want you guys to come to my channel. I'd like for you guys to subscribe. I'm also going to be doing spiritual teachings and sharing the knowledge that I've learned throughout the years. And a lot of this stuff is so hidden that it will take forever to put it together and compile it into one place. There's so many teachings and so many, different chakra work and just different techniques, because I want people to know how to protect themselves, And then I also have to be honest, is that what I've come to learn is that you do need to know both. You need to know light and dark, right? And it's like some people will use this gift or the knowledge that I'm sharing with you in the wrong way, And all we can do for those people is hope that karma heals them and brings them to the truthful light. Or they're going to keep coming back many lifetimes to repeat this. But for the true ones, the ones that are of the light, that are here to truly help people, that can use the gifts that I can share with you for the good of all, this is who I want to share this for. This is who I want to build a community with. Because we all are one, but we need each other to form, to build up, to bring up the consciousness of this world. As we all rise, we have to bring up the consciousness, and we all need to work together as one. And we need to know how to connect to spirit, how to connect to the universe, how to tap in. And I feel like there's not enough people out here really saying what it takes to do that. Really, that are really of the truth or of the light, And so we do that. I do delve into, some Hermeticism, some ancient Egyptian teachings as well, because in my opinion, I believe that's where spirituality began. I believe that's where the first man came from. So I do delve into that at some points, and I just try to share my wealth of knowledge that I've gained. I've been putting this off also. I want to say that as well. And Spirit has been getting closer to me today. And I was, making up excuses. I'm procrastinating. Maybe this is not the right day. Maybe I should do this another time. And the truth is I was sitting there and I was sitting in my bed and I was working on something on the computer. And all of a sudden I got this tingling in my neck and I heard this ringing in my ear. And I just closed my eyes and I went into a meditative state. And it was like Spirit was talking to me, because it's like when you have something to do, the evil spirits, or you can say the devil, they try to put these thoughts or keep you distracted because they don't want you to get this information out to people. Sometimes maybe like your electronics won't work. They'll be working fine all day, but as soon as you're about to put something out, that your electronics won't work. And so when this happened to me, I just closed my laptop and I just closed my eyes and I just heard Spirit. And Spirit told me that it's time. It's time to talk. It's time to share your knowledge. It's time to share your gift with the world. And so that's what I'm doing today, is that I'm sharing my gift because I believe I have a lot of knowledge to give you. And I also am a life coach and a spiritual coach, so I help people who are on their spiritual awakening journey. I give you teachings. I can ask you questions to say where you're at. And, not that there's, levels, but in some ways there are, and it's also, it can help in like relationships. Like, for example, like, you could not be with someone who, you're not getting along and things are not working out. And you collide and you don't have the same interests, but people stay in them karmic relationships for years and they just go along with it until they break out of the matrix and they'll snap and they'll say something's wrong. I was married for 23 years, so I can share my knowledge on, how hard that was to go through divorce, how hard that was to tear your family apart. But the truth is, that's where my spiritual awakening started. Because for your awakening to start, you have to have something traumatic happen to you. Something to shake you up. Either you lose a loved one, or you lose your career you have for 30 years, or you break up with your girlfriend. Something traumatic emotionally happens to break you up, shake you up. And then some people will regress, and then there's some people who will chase spirituality, will chase spiritual awakening. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here to do. We're here to serve our spiritual purpose. Every one of us has a purpose, and it's not just to work a job and, just to raise kids and be a family person, or, just like everybody has that burning desire in them to do something great, something that they were divinely put here to do. And you see, that's what I'm put here to do. I'm put here to teach, to preach, to help people, to bring them up in any way that I can. I'm a motivator. I used to be a basketball coach and football coach for all my kids throughout my life. And I have a passion for motivating people and helping people to raise them up. Like, I have a keen way of seeing a different vantage point and giving the person what they need. I can size people up pretty quickly, and not to be like cocky or anything like that, but it's just a gift. It's like a sixth sense. Like I can look at you and I can see what's going on, or I can talk to you and feel what you're going through. And it's like almost like I get the word. I don't know if it's God or intuitive, but I get a word and say, okay, well, if you tell them this will help them, or this might help them along their way. And so I just want to get on here. Like I said, I made a couple previous videos. I'm really just kind of getting my feet wet. But I have a website. It's Divine Solution, like your soul is the solution. So it's Divine, www.divinesolution.com, which I will put in the comments. As I said, I do also do Reiki healing, esoteric healing. We have a life coach, spiritual coach, and also I do spiritual teachings, and I'm in the process of creating a course. So if anybody's interested, please visit me at the web. And if you like the content you see, I'm going to start posting every few days, so there'll be more. So if you like what you see, please subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button below and you'll get alerts of the new videos that come out. I look forward to sharing my knowledge with you. I hope that you have a blessed day, and Ashe.